You're a mum, you're a mum, you're a busy mum. Come listen to the Busy Mum podcast. Life hacks and inspiration for the busy modern mum.
Hi and welcome to the Busy Mum podcast. I am your host, Jackie DeCampo. This podcast's sole focus is to interview busy mums and sometimes dads that usually have a business or at the very least a bustling side hustle. We cover areas like why they got into business in the first place, what their greatest lessons are or fear is, and how to overcome that. We talk all things marketing, advertising, systems, processes, cash flow, which is my favorite part, whether they have a product-based business or a service-based business, and all things related to business. And also, we talk about how they manage it with a family life as well. A little bit about me. I'm 38 years old, married to Ben DeCampo. We have 2 daughters. I am a co-founder of Milkman Grooming Co. I host this podcast and I am a mad keen gardener. If you want to share your story, please reach out, or if you're interested in sponsoring an episode, again, please reach out. My packages are very reasonable. My email is thebusymumpodcast, that's M-U-M, podcast @gmail.com. Now let's dive into this bloody fantastic episode. Excellent. Okay, so Rachel, welcome to the Busy Mum podcast. How are you this morning?
I'm really good, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Can you just tell us a little bit about you, what your business is and how you actually got started?
Sure. Well, I run North Shore Mums. So North Shore Mums started 7 years ago. When I first moved, I was living on the northern beaches of Sydney and we moved to Wahroonga, and I didn't know anyone in the area whatsoever. And it was a completely new start. We had a toddler and a 6-month-old baby at the time, and I had all those questions that every mum has, like, I need to find a really good doctor, or where am I going to send my kids to childcare, or I want to find a playground that's got coffee nearby. Where are all the playgrounds? And there was literally at the time nothing that existed for mums on the North Shore. There was the local paper, but that was all that was around. So for my own personal needs, I was like, I'm going to create a Facebook group. And it was literally just a random thought that I had. I'll just create a Facebook group. And I added a couple of friends that I knew, and they added their friends, and it just grew really, really quickly. And it was extremely useful for me in settling into the North Shore of Sydney and meeting people and discovering new places and new services. And I was at the point where I wasn't working, and my background is magazines and marketing, and I'd done some websites before for the magazines. So I kind of started to think, hang on, I can actually turn this into a business, because there is so much more information out there that that us mums need. And the Facebook group is excellent for asking those questions in the middle of the night or anything random that comes to you. But it's a really, the way that Facebook is, posts go down the page really, really quickly, and there's no structure to it. So all these posts that I was seeing, like people would say things like, I want to take my kids to an animal farm. Where are the animal farms near Sydney? And there'd be heaps of great suggestions, but there was no way of kind of storing or organising that information. So I thought, well, why don't I create a website that basically sources the ideas from the group, so the stuff that our mums are actually interested in, and creating a website. And I kind of looked at the pillars of the kind of things that mums were asking about. So they were asking, what's happening this weekend? They were asking, for recommendations of local services. So that kind of helped me form the basis of the website. And it went from there, really. Like, it was just me at the beginning. I had actually built a WordPress website once before, very clunkily, and there was a lovely North Shore mum that helped me with some of the technical stuff in the back end. But I actually built the website from scratch myself at the very beginning, and it was a really it was a really good business for me, because I didn't actually have to invest too much money into launching the website, but I had to invest a lot of my time. And obviously at that time, I had a toddler and a baby, but I was able to find pockets of time around naps and evenings and stuff that I could spend on the website, generating the content. I formed a team of contributors who would help write articles for the website as well. So it was literally just very much an organic thing. I thought I'll just dip my toe in and see how it goes. And as advertisers started coming on board, probably a year down the track, I thought, well, you know what, I can start investing in people. So the first person I employed was someone who looked after our what's on section. So making sure, and that was kind of, seeing what was happening around the area, school holiday activities, weekend events, and keeping that section up to date. And it's just kind of grown that way. Now I've got 4 local mums that work for me. And yeah, it's just it's grown very organically, and it's been a very safe business model for me, I guess, in that I haven't had to invest. There hasn't been a huge amount of risk. I've just had to invest my time, as I said, into creating this community and this website. And yeah, it's great.
Well, it sounds great. You're very passionate about it, which is, I think, like being in business now at 7 years, well, coming on 7 years. You've done a fantastic job there. I just want to step back. You said you built a WordPress site. Are you still on WordPress now?
I am.
Yeah?
Yes, I am. But I have since. We relaunched the website 3 years ago, and at that point I actually got a proper website developer in to make it 100%,
Not clunky.
There was a few glitches and things that didn't quite work as they should have. And also, what she's brought is, I guess, more processes. And so rather than us personally uploading events that are coming in, there's an event submission page. So all we need to do is check them, edit them, make sure they're appropriate, and just tweak any language or grammar or spelling, and just make sure it's, it reads well and looks professional. So there's, processes that have come in place that have actually made the back-end administration of the site a lot easier, and things like our directory as well. We have, I think, about 700 businesses listed in our directory, and that's completely self-managed. So in the past, they'd say, I want to change an image. So they'd be sending you an image and you'd have to resize it and upload it, and it was so much administration. And it was like, well, they should be able to manage their own listings. So, so she brought that in place. So we used a new plug-in that made it possible for people to
that didn't talk with the other plugins. And
well, that's it, exactly. This one sets the good thing is now that if anything goes wrong, I just deflect it to her, and everything's watertight. And we're actually we're doing another relaunch. We're working on another relaunch at the moment as well, because it's technology is advanced and stuff's moved on. So and I think it's time for a bit of a refresh and see how we can make it even better. So
it's almost like you've created your own media hub, really, isn't it? Because you used to work in the media, and you've created your own kind of community/media hub. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Is your sole source of income then from advertising on the website? Like, can you just talk to me more about like the structure of how you've managed to make money off this?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, it's 100% advertising from businesses. So anywhere from local businesses to, bigger companies, like a lot of the shopping centres like Westfield, a lot of the big childcare centres, and the private schools advertise with us. So the basic entry-level advertising is a listing in the directory. So that really works very well for services. So kids classes, local photographers, chiropractors, medical services, any service where people are going, I need this particular service. The directory is a really easy place to find those people. Mm-hmm. And obviously there's reviews and stuff as well. So it actually adds a huge amount of credibility to them. So they can have their own page on the website with photos, images, videos, special offers, testimonials. So it's a great place for them to be found, and it also works well for their SEO, which is important. So that's the basic entry level, and then we do other things like there's banner advertising on the website. We send out a weekly newsletter to 10,000 people. There's advertising options. We've got a bulletin board at the bottom of that. We do Facebook posts as well. We run special advertorials throughout the year. So around key event times like school holidays, we always run a school holiday guide. We always run a kids classes guide at the beginning of each term. So they're all paid advertorials that businesses will pay to be in, and they'll get featured on the website article, they'll get a Facebook post, we'll send out a newsletter, they'll be featured on that. So there's lots of different advertising options depending, if you're a one-man band and you're a photographer and you just don't have a huge marketing budget. If you want to, you can spend $129 a year on a listing, which is very, very good value. Or if you're a much bigger company, and we've got, lots of other options and packages that we can put together. And I've got an advertising manager as well who helps me with that. So
beautiful. So did you imagine that it would be like this 7 years ago? Like when you first thought, I'm going to start a little Facebook page or group?
Not at all. Oh, no, it wasn't. I always, having worked in magazines, I knew that was a declining industry. And I also knew that with kids, it was really, I just wanted a job that was flexible, and going back to a job in the city full-time just wasn't something that I felt I could do with children. I wanted to be able to be around for them for, the school assemblies or the presentation days, and just having that flexibility to attend their functions. So I guess at the back of my mind, I thought, I'd love to do something, and I don't know what it is. And I guess having that break from career when you first have a child, that's such a good opportunity to, rethink things. And, I think so many mums think of see gaps in the market when they've come off, they're not consumed with their career, they're in a completely different world, and they see, a need for a new product or a new service.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, just having the confidence in yourself to back yourself and to go, I'm going to give it a crack, and I might fail, but I'll just give it all I've got and go from there.
Well, it seems to be going from strength to strength, and that's a really good thing, because, the stats of new businesses aren't that pretty.
No, when I know. And, yeah, exactly. They say, I can't remember exactly what it is, but 50% fail in the first 2 years, or it's something, it is a very high failure rate. And, it's hard because you put so much time and energy and effort into these things, and they're often your passion.
Absolutely.
Because this has come from a true place for me. Like, North Shore Mums doesn't feel like a job. Like, when I'm working, I don't feel like I'm working. I really enjoy it, and I'm passionate about it. So I think that's, it's very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you might be the original person that's put this concept together, because I know Anita did Inner West Mums, but I don't think she's been running as long as what you have. So
no, yeah. So there was a couple. Actually, Northern Beaches Mums was the very first one to start. Mm-hmm. So, but that was more just the community, and their structure's kind of changed now. So they've got a website as well. But there was also someone else that ran Northern Beaches Kids Guide, and I don't know, things have changed. People have moved around and stuff, but they're now, Northern Beaches Mums is now a Facebook group and a website run by the one company. And then, North Shore Mums was next. And then Hills District Mums and Inner West Mums. And I know both Anita and Justine, who run Hills District Mums, and they were on North Shore Mums, and they were similarly going, but there's nothing for the area that I lived. They were kind of borderline, and they loved North Shore Mums in the community, but they were like, but it's not where I live. So they both sort of suggested to me, would you mind if I did an offshoot group? And I'm like, no, go for it, because it's not competitive. We don't compete. It's a very local concept. So, we're not stealing each other's advertisers, or, we try to kind of keep to our own turf where possible. So although, sometimes there's an amazing event happening, a few suburbs that's not in your turf, and you might promote that. But, we generally just try to stick to our own zone.
Yeah, beautiful. And so are there any apps that you use in business that you can't, go without, apart from WordPress plugins?
Yeah, those lovely WordPress plugins. Well, recently we've just started, probably in the last 6 months, we've started using an app called Trello, which is an amazing organisational tool particularly for us. As I said, there's 5 of us that work on the North Shore Mums website, and we all work from home, so we've got that amazing flexibility that we all love. But it means that we don't see each other in the world. We don't, she's not sitting next to me at my desk and I can just ask her a quick question. So having Trello, where you've got cards for each project, we've got so many different projects that we're managing, or editorially, what articles are coming up, what status they're at, what, advertising campaigns are booked, and what elements we've delivered. It just is such an excellent way of us keeping on top of deadlines and where we're at particular projects. We do meet in the real world as well once a month, and we catch up for coffee or lunch and, brainstorm ideas, but we're very independent working. But Trello's really good. We also use Facebook for, I've got a group for my website team, so any quick questions that we've got, that's kind of like our office kitchen, I guess you could call it.
Water cooler talk.
Exactly, where we'll just, share random, questions or ideas or anything we need to talk about. We use Facebook for, which I guess is quite appropriate given that we also run a Facebook group and we're on Facebook all the time. What other apps do I use? Let me have a look at my bookmark. Google Drive. Yeah, absolutely could not live without Google Drive. Again, for shared documents, and it's just fantastic because everything's always updated. You can have multiple people working on documents at the same time. There's never, this version and that version like there was a couple of years ago. We can all be 100% up to date, and we have schedules on there as well, and save all our stuff in there. So it's a great central place for us to store all our documents.
My daughter uses Google Drive. She's in year 4, and they're teaching it from such a young age. Like, I reckon they're more tech savvy than me, and I'm all right, like I can do some audio editing and stuff, but they're going to surpass me like really soon, I reckon.
You'll be asking for tips.
Yeah,
I know.
Could you edit this for me?
Exactly. Well, get some cheap labour in. I'll cook you dinner if you edit my podcast.
Yeah, exactly. You've just given me an idea there. Yeah. That is hilarious. So I did have a question here. What do you specialise in? But I suppose your specialty is beforehand, like you're in media, and then you've just kind of brought that into a community base as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think, communities are – online communities particularly these days are huge, and there's so many different ones. Facebook has made that possible, and Facebook is investing a lot more in the whole group concept as well, almost more so over the page. Like, they're trying to create more communities and stuff, and they're encouraging businesses that have pages to create groups because it creates that chatter, and it feels a bit more natural. So I
wonder what's going to be next, like, because there'll come a time where, Facebook and Instagram won't be the hottest thing in social media. So I wonder what's going to be next. I know Snapchat is like for the young'uns.
Yes, exactly.
I don't really understand that.
In TikTok, but there's not really a business platform, is it? Like, you wouldn't run a business off TikTok or Snapchat, would you? I don't know. Maybe some businesses that are aimed at the younger ones.
Yeah, I don't think Facebook was designed to be a business platform when it first started either.
Not at all. That's true.
And
that's very true.
Instagram, I think, was just pictures, but I think that's going to slowly change with like the IGTV. Because, like, you can be on there for, like, an hour now. And it's like, oh.
I know. Sucks you in, doesn't it?
It does.
You just, okay.
No.
Yeah. The whole new thing. I haven't got into IGTV yet. I mean, I watch it, but I haven't done anything with it.
Yeah, I'm trying to do, like, I dabble a little bit in social media when it comes time for, like, the podcast and stuff like that. But then I was talking to my last guest about this, actually. I get a little bit worried about how much content I'm putting out there, but I think I need to just change my mindset and just put it out there, let go of all those inhibitions.
Absolutely. I think when you're publishing, you think everyone's seeing every single thing that you post, but they're actually not. Like, I can be posting, say if we're promoting an event that we're running, I can feel like I am flogging it to death and doing post after post. And then people go, oh, I didn't know about that. I would have loved to have gone to that event. Or how come I didn't find out about this? And I'm like, I feel like I've been promoting it so much. But, there's always people that aren't online at that particular time, or for whatever reason it doesn't come up in their news feed. And it is easy to miss stuff. So, it's a very different, what you think you're publishing, I think, can be quite different.
Yeah, because you're in the fishbowl. I always talk about the fishbowl. Like when you're in the fishbowl, you can't see past your little fishbowl as well.
Yeah.
So, it's always good to get like that outside opinion. It's like, have you seen any of my posts? And sometimes I'll put out a post like, just please say hi if you see this post. So then I know, like, because it's got that little thing saying, 25 people have seen this post, but like you get one comment on it and it's like, okay, so that people are just scrolling but haven't stopped to read or actually engage with it. So it's very interesting. So whereabouts do you get your business information and why?
Usually these days it's actually podcasts.
Yeah, okay.
Because I find it's a really effective use of my time. So if I happen to be in the car by myself, driving to a meeting or what have you, or if I'm gone out for a walk, I'll always plug in my phone and listen to a podcast. So there's lots of kind of business. Like I've got friends that just listen to like crime podcasts and like drama ones. I'm like, I only listen to business podcasts because I'm always kind of looking for, I guess it's quite isolating running your own business from home and just kind of not having, I guess, people around you. So it's that window into the world and staying in touch with any trends, in Instagram or even business management or finance tips. I enjoy listening to podcast interviews and,
Do you have any favorite podcasts?
I do enjoy Mums with Hustle.
Yes, Tracy.
Tracy is great. She's just so passionate and just so positive. I love her vibe. I think she's just fantastic. And she always, the Instagram tips, but it's not just Instagram, online marketing, e-newsletters, and just general insights into, I guess in a way it's kind of like business coaching and life coaching. She's this whole manifesto, I think she's into, like manifesting your future and visualizing what you want. So it's quite a sort of holistic and spiritual approach as well to business, which I quite like.
Yeah, I think she started off solely on the Instagram because I know she was a teacher. I interviewed her a little while ago and she was a teacher and she's just still being a teacher. It's just changing your topic, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good on her. I mean, she's doing really well. Really well.
Yeah.
Okay, what is my next question? Okay, what is one area of your business you would like to improve and why? And how do you propose to do it?
Dun, dun, dun. Well, I think there's one of the kind of catchphrases is when you run a business, you're better to be working on your business rather than in your business. And I still work in my business a lot, and there's a lot of opportunity to be working on it, on other things, in growing it. And I think I almost need to have the bravery or the courage to hire someone that can do what I do, which is oversee the whole website and all elements of from editorial to advertising to finance. Like if I could get someone that kind of managed that, then I could concentrate on growing North Shore Mums in other ways. I've been wanting to launch a podcast for the last 6 months. I've been talking about it with my editor, Lucy. We've been going, we're going to do a podcast. It'd be amazing. And we just do not have enough hours in the day. Just to kind of get the concept down and nut out a structure. And I guess because it's a new world to us, both of us. She's got a lot of experience in doing radio interviews and stuff, but just nutting down the structure of how it would work and when we would do it. There's just too much other emails to reply to, and there's too many other campaigns that we're working on. So it's just, if I can somehow create some more time that I can actually focus on projects that I think would help elevate, I guess, the North Shore Mums brand, because my background is marketing. So, just partnerships and sponsorship and those kind of things I'd like to to spend more time on.
Okay, well, it sounds like you've got all the ideas there, but again, you need to, as you say, get that manager in place. And I think once that's going to free up a lot of your time and then you can achieve whatever you want to achieve.
The sky's the limit.
Exactly. Okay, I just have a couple of quick fun questions and then I'll let you get on with your day.
Righty.
What would you prefer to watch or be, a vampire or werewolf?
Oh, a vampire or a werewolf? That's an interesting one. Well, I don't really want to be a wolf. I don't really want to be either of them.
He's like, no.
Evil. Vampire, I don't really fancy sucking anyone's blood. And werewolf, they just frighten the bejesus out of me. So
neither. Okay.
Neither. I don't want to be either.
Do you prefer Netflix or Stan?
Oh, do you know what? We subscribe to both and I watch both equally. I can't choose, to be honest. There's a lot of good content. I mean, my kids watch a load of it as well. So I don't watch heaps of telly because often I can be working at night, or by the time we finally get the kids to sleep at 9 o'clock, it just seems to be getting later and later. There's like a 1 hour window and I might be working then, or I might be watching telly and going, I just need to sit down. But
I used to have both subscriptions as well, but then I thought, this is silly. I just pick one. So I'm a Netflix fan.
Okay.
So that's me.
Yeah.
And product-based business or service-based business, which do you think's better, or would you prefer?
Well, I mean, I would say, I guess from my personal experience, I'm in a service-based industry. I guess you would call communication and media and a website, because we're providing information and a service. We're not selling a product. Mm-hmm. I guess you could say we're selling a product to advertisers. We're selling a platform to reach local mums. But I kind of, I see us as serving the community and serving the mums, and we're more of a service for them rather than a product for advertisers, if you know what I mean. So, but yeah, okay. I mean, for me,
it's service.
Let's go with service. Okay. Yes.
Well, thank you, Rachel, for speaking with me this morning. It's been fantastic to have you on the show.
Pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
No worries. Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Busy Mum podcast. Don't forget to let your friends know, and also subscribe to the iTunes channel, and also my socials if you want to see what I'm getting up to. A brand new episode is out every Monday morning, just like clockwork.